Hello, today we're going to be creating this orange eyeshadow look. So if you like this look, just keep on watching. So first, we want to just prime our eyelids. I'm just going to be using the Juvia's Place concealer. This shade is light for me, which is good because I want it to be light enough so we can do some really good saturation later on. Next, using a white liner, a white pencil liner, we're just going to trace the shape of an orange. And the important thing to know is your orange doesn't have to be perfectly round. I know some of us are perfectionists and we tend to try to make everything perfectly round. But if you think about it, oranges in real life aren't perfectly round either. So with a light white liner, we're just going to trace the shape of a circle. I like to hold my forehead a little bit while drawing lines so it tightens the skin a little bit. Next up, we're going to draw a tinier circle within, but don't make it too tiny. So right about here. So what you want to keep in mind for this part is you want to try as close as you can mimic the shape of the first circle. And make sure you keep a consistent width. Next, you're just going to fill in the white part. Sorry, the space between the two circles. So for this tutorial, you can either fill in this little part or you can even just completely wipe it away. I'm going to wipe it away because it takes less time. It's just removing a part of the makeup routine. Next up, using the same white eyeliner, we're going to be drawing the little star in the center of the orange. So that is where like the Rhine is. And we're just going to make a little mark and draw a little bit. That is good enough. And we're just going to extend and draw some lines. Perfect. So this is the basic shape of our orange all complete. And we are going to go in and add details later on. All right, now we're going to be doing the color of like the actual orange. So for the color of the inside of the orange, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Coast to Coral palette. And I'm going to be dipping into the shade Anemone? Anemone. We're dipping into the shade Mommy. And we're just going to be using a fluffy packer brush. Tap off the excess. And we're just going to be lining the insides of the oranges a little bit. Don't worry if you get it over the liner, because we're going to be going back in and redefining that liner in a second. Perfect. So this is the inside of the orange. If you look at an orange, you'll notice that the inside part is a little bit darker than the actual center of the orange. That made no sense. But anyways, we're going to be going in. I'm going to be using my Morphe X Nyan Fierce Fairy Tale palette. And we're going to be dipping into the shade M and Jen, which is this bright orange shade right here, using the same brush. And we're going to pack it on. Next, we're going to be getting a fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M433 brush, and I'm going to be dipping into the shade B, which is this bright yellow in the Morphe X Nyan Fierce Fantasy palette. Dipping that. And we're just going to be highlighting the inner part of the orange. Perfect. Now that the color of the eyeshadow is done, we're going to be going back in with our white eyeliner to redefine the lines that we drew. And we're also going to be shaping the orange a little bit. And now using a orange eyeliner, or if you don't have an orange eyeliner, you can just use a little bit of setting spray and use a orange eyeshadow to create a eyeliner. But I'm just going to make the line. And we're just going to shape the orange slices a little bit. Because if you notice, in the actual orange, the corners are rounded a little bit. So we're going to be doing that to our orange slices. Looking pretty cute. So now we are going to go in with some yellow eyeliner. And if you don't have a yellow eyeliner, you can just use a yellow eyeshadow and put some setting spray on a liner brush, and you pretty much got yourself a yellow eyeliner. So I'm going to be using the Morphe X9 Fierce Fairy Tale eyeliners, and we're just going to draw in a little bit of details. So this is the basic shape of the orange, all complete, the basic shape, the basic color, but we're going to go in with liquid liner to make it more defined and more opaque. So now I'm going to be dipping into the NYX Epic Wear waterproof liner to really opaque these lines a little bit, because right now they're looking a little bit sketchy. So I'm just going to do that real quick. I messed that part up a little bit, so I'm going to let that dry for a bit and go over it with some eyeshadow. So while that's drying, we're going to be outlining the entire orange with a little black eyeliner. This part is a little bit scary, not going to lie, but it's okay, we'll get through it. Oh, so this is the REM Beauty Midnight Black eyeliner. On second thought, because I don't want to torture myself that much, and because I feel like it can create a cool 3D effect, we're just going to leave that there, and using a little using a little brush. This is the Morphe M443. We're just going to be dragging that liner down a little to create a shadow. Perfect, yeah, so this is our orange. And obviously you can add highlights to the top to make this shadow seem like more 3D, make this entire orange seem more 3D. And actually, I think we're gonna go back in with the NYX paint pot or the NYX white liner, and we're just going to define the seeds of the orange a little bit. Not too much, just a little. Now that's in a little bit, we're going to go back in with the white eyeliner the NYX pencil one to redraw some of the definition. So for the simple smoked out orange eyeshadow look, I'm going to be dipping into the Mommy Anemone again from the ColourPop Coastal Coral palette. And we're just going to dust off the excess. This eye is not primed. I should probably prime it, but I'm too lazy. I'm just going to put that over here. And dipping into this more brownish shade named Queensland, we're going to smoke out the base that we just created. Alright, perfect. And now dipping back into the Morphe X9N Fierce Fantasy palette, we're going to be taking the orange from this palette, the one that we use for the orange. Wow, that was confusing. And we're just going to plot that on. And we're taking a little bit of this yellow that we used from the Morphe X9N palette and just putting that on the inner corner. There we go, perfect. This is our orange look all complete. If this part of the eyeliner isn't as sharp as you want it to be, you can cut it with foundation or concealer depending on what you like to use best. But this is the basic, all complete.